And it sounds like we are coming back from lunch.
All right, good afternoon. Please be seated. Everybody have a good lunch?
Very good. Well,
very good. Who made it for everybody? You guys got to work on that. You never know. Somebody's going to do it one of these times. We'll get it. All right. We are going to continue with our witness. Sir, I'm going to remind you that you're still under oath. This is State of New Jersey versus Paul Caneiro, indictment 19-020283. Can I have the appearances of counsel for the afternoon?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecutor Nicole Wallace on behalf of the state.
Good afternoon, Judge Chris Decker for the state.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Monika Mastellone on behalf of Mr. Paul Caneiro, who's present.
Good afternoon, Judge Andy Murray, Mr. Caneiro.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Caneiro. All right. And we're ready to go.
The back table again. We're on S1C for the record, Judge.
Okay.
Could I have slide 222? We'll ignore that for a minute. Now, Mr. Badaracco, I think you already indicated this is the generator at 15 Willowbrook Drive, correct? Correct. Now, could I have slide 223, please? You recognize what that shows?
Yes.
Is that one of the front two doors we saw?
Yes.
And what's in there?
The engine for the generator.
Could I have slide 224, please? What do you see there?
It's the control panel for the generator.
Does it look the same as it did when you looked at it on November 20th, 2018?
Yes.
Could I have slide 226? Recognize what that shows?
Yes.
What is that right there?
That's the compartment where the on-off and automatic switch are for the generator controls.
Okay. Can I have slide 227, please? You recognize that photo?
Yes.
What's it show?
It shows that the generator's been disabled. The light indicating on the right side bottom so the generator is off.
Okay. If I may approach, Ron?
Ken?
Now, I believe you can kind of see there's a light on in that picture. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Could you just put a little square around that light? And what does that light indicate?
That the generator's been disabled?
It's been disabled?
Yes.
Okay. Was that light on when you first observed it?
Yes.
And is there any other switch that would have made that light come on?
This switch, there's a rocker switch up on next to the lights that'll have the generator either run or stop or run in automatic.
Can you point out that switch?
Square?
Yes. Okay. Now that's toggled to run or something else?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, that's the photograph or slide 227. Is that consistent with the way that you found the generator on November 20th?
Yes.
Okay. Can we preserve that, please?
Print that as 227.1.
Could I have slide 229, please? Do you reckon, can you hit undo on the bottom right corner, sir? That's okay. You recognize that photograph?
Yes.
What's in that photograph?
The compartment on the right is the breaker that will feed the house when the generator is in operation.
Okay. Now, on that, one of those doors, there appears to be a switch visible.
Yes.
What's that switch?
That switch is the breaker, and you can have that in the open position, which won't send power from the generator to the house, or the closed position, which will send power to the house.
Can I see slide 230, please? Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What's that?
that's the breaker,
And does it indicate that it's in the on or off position?
the off position.
And how is it when you found it?
It was in the on position.
Okay. Who put it in the off position? Why did you do that?
Because we were leaving a crew there overnight, and just to eliminate any potential risk of an event happening in the home, or if the generator did turn on for some reason, we disabled it so that there wouldn't be any power to the home.
Now, just to be clear though, was it disabled prior to you shutting it off?
Yes,
Okay, so this was, is it fair to say this is just another step to make sure it's off?
correct.
Now, was there a point in time when you were asked to come back to the scene at a later date?
Yes,
Okay, and did you meet with any detectives?
yes.
And during the course of your interaction with the detectives, did you explain any findings that you had made from November 20th, 2018 about the generator?
Correct.
Okay. And was there a point in time that they showed you a photograph?
Yes,
And you recall what the purpose of the photograph was?
yes.
And what was that?
To show what I initially found when we inspected the generator, if it was disabled or in the run position.
I may approach you.
Okay.
Just going to show you what's been marked as S405 for identification. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
And what is that?
that's the picture that I was shown when I met with the detectives. It's my signature.
Okay. And you circled something on that photo, correct?
Yes,
And why'd you circle that?
that's the breaker that I disabled.
Thank you. Can we go to the front defense table? Mr. Badaracco, what's on the screen in front of you and on the big screen over here? Is that the photograph I just showed you, S405?
Yes,
And does that indicate that you circled something and signed and dated it?
yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay. Ross?
Mr. Badaracco, I'm just going to ask you about a couple things. The first thing I want to, just in reverse order, regarding when you arrived on scene, we just talked about the generator, right? And with the generator, tell me if I'm understanding correctly, the generator itself, which we saw, it's the machine, the blue-green machine, it has two different mechanisms on the machine itself where you could turn it on or off, essentially.
Yes, basically, yes.
Okay. And those
Can you speak up? Thank you.
Those two mechanisms, one is called like an emergency stop or something. Did I get that right?
Yes,
And the other one is like the main breaker.
correct.
And just so we're clear, when the purpose of what you were explaining to the jury is simply to say, when you arrived, the emergency stop was off, correct?
Correct.
And you then later also disconnected the main breaker or turned off the generator via the main breaker.
Yes,
Okay, so it's like, I think as the prosecutor said, it's sort of just an extra step or an extra way to turn it off.
correct.
Okay, so it was turned off prior to you being there the first way, and then the second way you later turned off.
Yes,
Okay. With respect to the solar panels, those were normal upon arrival and you guys disconnected them, or I'm going to use a colloquial term and just say you turned them off.
Correct.
Okay. And with respect to the electrical meter, that was also something you testified to, and what we learned is that the electrical panel or meter was disconnected. The meter was disconnected from the panel. Did I say that right?
Yes.
And it was on the ground, right? And what you explained was that to your knowledge, your people did not do that.
Correct.
And that you found it like that.
Correct.
Now, when I say your people, what fire department are you from again?
Colts Neck.
Colts Neck. But I think you also mentioned on direct, because there were a variety of different fire departments there that day.
Correct.
I'm just going to run through some of them, and if you can tell me whether or not you agree they were there that day, just let me know. Do you recall Earl Fire Department?
Yes.
And Colts Neck Fire Department?
Yes.
Glendola Fire Company?
Yes.
Howell Township Fire Department?
Yes.
Marlboro Fire Company?
Yes.
Millstone Fire District?
Yes.
The Monmouth County Fire Marshal at some point?
Yep.
Seabright Fire Rescue?
I don't remember if they were there or not.
And Shrewsbury Fire Department?
I don't remember if they were there or not.
What about Southard Fire Department?
Yes.
And Tinton Falls Fire Company?
Yes.
And lastly, Union Beach Fire Department.
I don't remember if they were there or not.
Okay, so it sounds like you remember 9 of the 12 I just
Yes.
mentioned. Okay. Lastly, the only other thing I want to ask you about, sir, is we've heard a lot of testimony about A, B, C, D corners and of houses, sides of houses, and northeast, west, south. Just so we can orient ourselves, I'm gonna these have been previously published. I'm gonna just put up on the screen here. It's D1-301. I'm going to do D-301. And sir, is this do you recognize this as 15 Willowbrook?
Yes.
You responded to that structure that day?
Yes.
And does that accurately depict the structure as you saw it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind just taking that same pen that you had and just marking the A, B, C, D sides? Okay. So if I'm understanding correctly, the front is the A, and then we go clockwise around the house.
Correct.
Okay. And now, if you don't mind, if we could capture that.
This is 301.3, I believe.
And then can you also designate northeast, southwest on that as well? Okay. And the west side of that house is going toward Route 34.
Correct.
Did you capture that?
It's 301.4.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Okay, so any redirect?
No, Judge.
Sir, you can step down. So they can call our next witness.
Did you wanted to take a short break? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, can you do me a favor? Can you just, 2 seconds in the room? I'll bring you right back out. If anybody has to use the bathroom, please feel free. Sergeant Mahony, he can come and take a seat. You can put up what you need, and I apologize, I forgot that. I said we were going to take a break. Is anyone, is everyone good before we get started?
Yes.
All right, let me just get my hand it out here. See if they're ready.
Thank you. I'm trying to keep weight off.
Appreciate it. Prosecutor, when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. State Clause Detective Sergeant Ryan Mahony.
Sir, could you put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, can you state your full name for the record once you're comfortable and spell your last name, please?
Sure, it's Ryan Mahony, Mahony.
Thank you. Prosecutor, when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Sergeant Mahony, can you tell us where you work?
Work for the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office.
Now, approximately how long have you worked for the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office?
Almost 10 years.
Okay. Now, can you tell us a little bit about when you became a police officer, how, and how you got to here?
Certainly. I began my law enforcement career in 2004. Started as an assistant prosecutor in Hudson County. In 2009, I switched to become a detective within the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office. In 2014, I spent 2 years at the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office as a detective, and then I was hired by the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office in 2016, again as a detective.
Now, once you were hired at the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office as a detective, can you tell us what units you worked in and in which order?
Sure. I was initially assigned to the Professional Responsibility Unit, which is an internal affairs type unit. Subsequently transferred to the Major Crimes Unit, where I spent approximately 2 years. And then I was transferred back to Professional Responsibility and again back to Major Crimes recently.
Now, I want to draw your attention to November 20th, 2018, approximately 12:55, 1 p.m. Do you recall that time?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, were you made aware of your need to go and respond somewhere?
Yes.
And where was that?
I was contacted by my sergeant at the time, Richard Chapman. He advised me, he asked if I would make my way to 15 Willowbrook in Colts Neck. He reported to me that the house was engulfed in flames and there was an apparent homicide victim on the front lawn.
Okay. And did you in fact respond there?
I did.
And did you confirm some of the information you provided by Sergeant Chapman?
Yes.
I'm not going to get into too much of your on-scene observations. We've kind of heard some of that, but did you make observations of smoke and or fire at the scene?
Yes, I did.
Did you make observations of a body that was located in front of the house?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, were you involved upon arrival in like a briefing with other officers?
Yes, I was.
Okay, what's the purpose of that?
Just generally to understand where we were at in the investigation, what was known and what was unknown.
Now, shortly thereafter, once you got some information about what was going on, were you provided with some direction or were you asked to do something specific?
Yes.
And what was that?
Sergeant Chapman asked if I would exit the property, attempt to find any witnesses that could be pertinent to this investigation, and or any surveillance cameras that could assist us in determining what had transpired.
Okay, so did you ultimately exit the physical property of 15 Willowbrook?
I did.
And did you ultimately begin to see if there was anyone with information and or any surveillance cameras in the area?
Yes, I did.
Now, there's a house across the street from 15 Willowbrook, correct?
Correct.
You recall the address?
44 Willowbrook.
Okay. And did you attempt to make contact there?
Yes, I did.
And why was that?
I attempted to see if there was any surveillance footage that may have captured 15 Willowbrook, which was across the street.
And did you ultimately make any observations of any cameras that were affixed to the house?
Yes, there was a camera that was shooting out over the garage that would have captured across the street.
Now, so you said it would have captured across the street. Did it capture any portion of 15 Willowbrook, the actual structure?
Yes. Limited view, but yes.
And when you say there's a limited view, what do you mean by that? Why is there a limited view?
If you look across the street, the 15 Willowbrook is obstructed by hedges and bushes and numerous trees.
Could you see Willowbrook Road clearly though?
Yes, you can see the road clearly.
Now, were you able to determine whether or not the camera that you located on the front of 44 Willowbrook, if it was running continuously or if it was motion activated?
They were motion activated cameras.
Now, did you make contact with the homeowner?
Yes.
You recall, is her name?
Mrs. Malabano, I believe it was.
Now, did you know her
Kathy
previously?
Malabano? No, I did not.
Now, did you request anything from her to discuss the camera?
Yes, requested if we could view the cameras to see what they captured, what they depicted.
Okay. Now, was she amenable to that? Did she agree?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And based upon the fact that you identified a camera, you identified someone who was willing to let you look at it, what, if anything, did you do?
I viewed the camera briefly to see what it captured. Once I made the determination that it may have captured some relevant information, I contacted our electronic surveillance unit, requested that they come out and obtain the footage from the surveillance system directly.
Okay. And did ultimately any detectives from your office, the electronic surveillance unit, did they come?
Yes, Detective Valenti and Detective Siderakis.
And did they ultimately secure the footage?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Now, we'll get into a little bit in a little while, but did you ultimately review footage from 44 Willowbrook?
Yes, I did.
And based upon observations you made at the scene that day and later, were you able to determine the accuracy of the footage from 44 Willowbrook?
Yes, I was.
Was it accurate?
It was.
Now, I want to direct your attention because I should say this first. On November 20th, 2018, you went to the scene, correct?
Correct.
Did you speak with anyone outside the scene at different times during the day?
Yes.
People with information and the like?
Yes, there was a crowd that gathered out front due to the fire and the large amount of emergency personnel. I spoke to 4 or 5 individuals that were there.
And ultimately, you identified this surveillance footage on 44 Willowbrook.
Correct.
Now, at some point, you're going to leave for the night, correct?
Correct.
Now, did you continue efforts with respect to video surveillance identification on the next day, the 21st?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you go?
We responded to, Sergeant Chapman and I responded to 85 Willowbrook.
Now, did you look at all the houses in that vicinity?
Either I did or a member of the investigative team did.
And 85 was the next house you went to because why?
Surveillance camera was observed outside of the residence, close to the road.
Did you make contact with anyone at 85 Willowbrook?
Yes.
And who was that?
The homeowner, one by the name of Debbie Mercantile.
Now, ultimately, were you able to, based upon the conversation with her, make arrangements to secure video from 85 Willowbrook?
Yes, she didn't know how to operate the camera, the surveillance system. She contacted her husband. He was spoken to. He agreed to let us duplicate whatever footage they had.
Okay, and did someone ultimately do that?
Yes, I believe Detective Valenti responded to that location after I had left and obtained the surveillance footage.
Now, just going to show you what's been marked as S262 for identification. Just going to show you S262 and ask if you recognize what that is.
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
This is an aerial photograph from Google Maps that depicts a majority of, well, not a majority, but a portion of Willowbrook Road.
Okay. Now, based upon what you see on 262, are you able, I'm not going to ask you to do it, but are you able to identify 15 Willowbrook?
Yes,
How about 44?
yes,
And what about 85?
yes.
Can I ask permission? S262? No objection.
Go ahead.
Just have the rear computer. Thank you. Okay, do you recognize what's on the screen?
Yes,
And is that what we just looked at?
yes, it is.
Okay. Now, you talked about being able to identify 15 Willowbrook Drive. Can you put a 15 over the property of 15 Willowbrook, somewhere in the area? Okay. And how about 44 Willowbrook? Those fours?
I was trying to figure out what those words do.
How about 85? Okay. All right. Can we capture that, please?
262.1.
Thank you, Judge. Now, during the course of your investigation into this incident, is it fair to say that, you had been tasked with trying to assist with identifying video, but then also reviewing certain video that was obtained by others?
That's correct.
Now, we talked about video from 85 Willowbrook. We talked about video from 44 Willowbrook. Was there any other video that you identified and/or reviewed from any other towns or locations?
Yes.
Where was that from?
Ocean Township, specifically Tilton Drive.
And what was the significance of Ocean Township in this investigation?
Prior to our response to 15 Willowbrook, the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office had responded to Ocean Township, Tilton Drive specifically, earlier in that morning on the report of a fire. At some point, it was discovered that the decedent on Willowbrook, Keith Caneiro, was the brother of the homeowner at 27 Tilton, Paul Caneiro. So at that point, we were trying to see if any way the two fires were connected.
Now, after a significant review of video footage, did you draft a report?
Yes.
And in that report, did you kind of come up with like a timeline, so to speak?
Yes.
In that report, did you document the first video that you documented was from where?
27 Tilton.
Okay. Now, 27 Tilton is whose home?
That's Paul Caneiro's home.
Now, was that 27 Tilton video, was that specifically part of your video review?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Now, did someone review that?
Yes.
And who was that?
Captain Weisbrot.
Now, what was Captain Weisbrot, or then detective and now Captain Weisbrot's role in the investigation at 27 Tilton?
Captain Weisbrot was assigned as the lead detective at the Ocean Township scene.
I'm not going to ask you about that video because we'll ask him about it, but have you reviewed it?
Yes, I have.
And is it included as part of your timeline in your report for those purposes?
Yes.
Now, was there other video from Tilton Drive that you ultimately reviewed?
Yes.
And what was the time frame of the video obtained?
The early morning hours of November 20th, 2018.
I'm going to draw your attention to footage from a residence at 30 Tilton Drive. Did you review any footage from there?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How many cameras were located there?
There was 2 cameras located at 30 Tilton.
Do you remember how they're labeled?
Yeah, camera 7 and camera 5.
Now, starting with camera 7, are you able to tell us the vantage point from that camera?
Yes. Camera 7 is situated on the house, pointed in easterly direction, down Tilton towards the direction of Paul Caneiro's residence, 27 Tilton.
So that camera, I think you said, is generally facing in an eastward direction,
Correct.
maybe a little northeast.
Correct.
Now, I just want to show you what's been marked as S261, the identification.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is a Google Maps aerial photograph which depicts Tilton Drive.
Okay. Now, is there a specific residence that's also depicted on that
Yes.
document?
Sorry, there's a picture of the front of 30 Tilton as well.
Okay. Now, does this, based upon your involvement in this investigation, does this fairly and accurately capture Tilton Drive and some surrounding area?
Yes.
Just gonna ask the public 261.
You can.
Now, Detective, is that what we just looked at?
Yes, it is.
Detective, can you just do the undo of your really good looking 85 and 44, please?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's a marking that's on that map, correct?
Yes,
And what does that marking represent?
that's 30 Tilton.
Okay. Now, is that the house that we just described with two cameras,
Yes, it is.
number 5 and number 7?
Yes.
Now, are you able to identify where, if at all, 27 Tilton is on that map?
Yes, I can.
Can you write 27? Can you see the driveway for 27 Tilton on, to the north of where you wrote that?
Yes.
Can you put a little X at the driveway? Okay, thank you. Now, we'll get there in a minute, but is there also a video that you reviewed from Tilton Drive, in the area of Tilton Drive during your review? Is there a second location? You have 30 Tilton?
Yes.
Is there another house with a camera?
Yes.
Which, do you remember the address?
308 Green Grove?
Okay, and can you see that house on the map?
Yes, I can.
Could you put a little square around it? And you said the address is what street?
308 Green Grove?
And is any portion of that home on Tilton Drive?
The driveway faces Tilton Drive. The front door is on Green Grove.
Could you just put like a Y at the front of the driveway? We could capture that. Thank you.
261.1.
Sergeant Mahony, I'm going to show you what's been marked as S263 for identification. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes.
And what is it?
This is a video DVD surveillance cameras that will place its evidence that depicts 30 Tilton 308 Green Grove.
Okay.
Maybe some others.
And
Have you reviewed all the footage from 30 Tilton and 308 Green Grove during the course of your review?
Yes.
Any furtherance of developing a timeline and identifying certain things?
Yes.
I want to go to the video that's contained on S263. A would be 30 Tilton camera 7. Now, Sergeant Mahony, do you recognize what's on the screen right now?
Yes, this is a 30 Tilton camera 7, channel 7, I believe.
Okay. And the video that's contained on this clip, have you reviewed it?
Yes.
You reviewed it multiple times?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I could, Judge, I would like to first play this clip fully through.
Hold on for 1 second, please. Is this 263 if we're looking at the exhibit list A?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Camera 7, 30 Tilton Drive.
Okay. Any objection, counsel?
To playing the video all the way through.
No, Judge.
Okay.
I have no objections.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Now, I'm going to ask you to go to approximately 207. Actually, before we do that, can I just ask you a couple questions about what you see on that video in front of you?
Sure.
There's an area with a light there, correct?
Correct.
What's around that light?
There's 3 pillars fixed to the home. Next to the pillars, there appears to be a large, it's a large bush. That light that you're seeing on the top left center of the screen is a floodlight, and you can see bushes in the foreground.
Now, based upon your review of this video, did you determine an approximate location of where 27 Tilton would be located in this video?
Yes.
Can you see the actual home?
No.
Okay. Now, could you explain where 27 Tilton would be in relation to what we see on the screen?
If you take a look at the aerial map in conjunction with this video, the driveway of 27 Tilton would be in between the floodlight that you're seeing, just beneath it, and that bush would obscure a majority of the driveway, but there's an area in between where you can see, which would depict 27 Tilton.
When you review this video and/or when we just reviewed this video, did you see anything in that area?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you see?
There's a flickering of lights in that area that I just described.
Okay. Now, if I could go to 207-23 approximately. Slow it down one notch. And I'm just going to, once we run it now, if you could just explain what it is you see.
Yeah, in the area I just described, you're seeing a flicker of light several times.
Okay. You pause it? What do we see now, Detective?
You see headlights.
You can keep going. And what is the direction of travel of that vehicle?
That is heading westbound on Tilton Drive in the direction of the cameras on 30 Tilton.
Okay.
Channel 7.
Did the vehicle just leave the footage?
Yes,
Is that approximately 207-44?
correct.
Now, that vehicle, is there an intersection that that vehicle would be approaching based upon your review of that camera right there?
Yeah, we just go back to the aerial map that we saw. There's an intersection with Green Grove Road and Tilton Drive. There's a stop sign up ahead.
I'm going to ask to put up S263B. Now, I'm going to pause it. Can I ask you what the time is here?
207:31 a.m.
And just general layout of what this camera is showing. Can you explain that?
This is pointing in the opposite direction of Channel 7. This is Channel 5. It's facing westbound on Tilton towards Green Grove Road.
I want to play the entirety of this clip now at normal speed. Now, I'm going to ask you to run it again, and I may pause it at a certain time. Can you pause it, please? Did you see anything on the footage at that point in time?
Yes.
And what's that?
There's a pickup truck parked in the driveway, and there is a reflection of lights coming at the pickup truck.
Now, based upon your review of this video, the two cameras from 32, is there a degree of overlap?
Yes, there is.
They just show the same thing from different angles?
Correct.
You continue to play. Can you pause it? Can you back it up? Just back it up a couple seconds. Can we back it up till the car's out of the frame? And then slow it down one notch. You can play. There you go. Okay, Detective, based upon your review and what's on the screen in front of you, did you make any observations of that vehicle?
Yes.
And what was that?
I noted the vehicle's taillights.
Can we please circle it on this, or put a square around the taillights? Can we preserve that, please?
263B.1.
Detective, you can undo that now. Now, I'm just going to ask you to continue to run it. Can you tell us what time the vehicle, or what, strike that. Can you pause it? Sorry. Now, right there, we're at 2:07:53 a.m., correct?
Correct.
And where is that vehicle right now based upon your review?
It's at the intersection of Tilton and Green Grove.
And is that about the time the clip ends?
Yes.
And what is the time again?
It's 2:07:53 a.m.
Now, given the degree of overlap, is it clear that that's the same vehicle that passes 30 Tilton through both cameras?
Yes, same vehicle on 7 and 5. Yes.
Now, you talked about another home in that area with surveillance, correct?
Yes.
And that was what address again?
308 Green Grove Road.
How many cameras were located on 308 Green Grove?
There's 2 cameras.
And can you tell us what they each showed generally?
Yes, one of the cameras is located over the garage, shooting down the driveway, which captures the portion of Tilton and Green Grove, the intersection. The other camera is located on the front of the home, pointing in a northward direction down Green Grove Road.
Okay. Now, I want to first direct your attention to 308 Green Grove, camera 3. Can I have S263C? Now, just before we begin to run that, can you tell us what time is depicted at the beginning of that clip?
2:07:37 a.m.
Now, I'm going to run it through once if we can. That clip ended at approximately 2:08:01.
Right.
And now, That last clip from 30 Tilton, do you recall what time that ended?
2:07:53 a.m.
And that this begins at what time?
2:07:37 a.m.
So is there a degree of overlap between these two cameras?
Yes.
Based upon that, did you determine whether or not it was the same vehicle or a different vehicle?
Yes, based upon that, the vehicle passing 30 Tilton is the same vehicle that's captured at 308 Green Grove.
Now, I want to play that video again. I'm going to pause it at a certain point. Can you back up just a notch? Okay. Now, the video is paused at 2:07:50, correct?
Correct.
Now, as the video is paused here, what does the camera depict?
It captures a clear profile, side profile of the entire vehicle.
And based upon the pausing, is it, you can now see certain features of the vehicle, is that
Yes.
accurate?
Yes.
Now, just want to direct the mouse to a certain portion of this vehicle. Directing the mouse to the lower portion of that vehicle. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. What is it that you see there?
There's a darker area that goes across most of the bottom of the vehicle, in the area of the front and rear driver's side doors of the vehicle.
Now, just if I was to take the mouse again quickly and direct the mouse to the top of the vehicle. Can you explain anything that you saw there?
Yes, there's a certain curvature across the top of the vehicle from the front to the back.
Can you run that? Please. I'm just gonna pause it right now. What do you see here?
The vehicle's taillights.
Can you put a little square around that? Now, to be clear, where is the vehicle located at 2:07:53?
It's at the stop sign at Tilton and Green Grove.
Now, you said 308 Green Grove, you could undo that, I think. Did we capture that? I'm sorry.
No, 263.1, 263C.1, please.
Thank you. Okay, just going to ask you, you indicated there's another camera on 308 Green Grove?
Yes.
And that's camera what?
Channel 4, I believe.
Now, does that depict a part of Green Grove Road?
Yes.
Can I have S263D, please? Now, before we run it at all, can you tell us what time is depicted on that camera?
2:07:45 a.m.
Now, I'm going to play the video once through, okay? Now, I'd just like to slow it down one notch. We can play it. I'm going to ask you to pause it at a certain point. Was it at 02:07:50, please? Just to be clear, we're paused at 02:07:52. Where's the vehicle?
The vehicle's approaching the stop sign at Tilton and Green Grove.
I'm going to keep running. I'm going to pause at approximately 02:07:54. What do you see there, Detective?
I see the vehicle's taillights turning onto Green Grove Road.
Could you put a square around that, please, the taillights? Reserve that, please.
263D.1.
Now, Detective, based upon your review of the two cameras from 30 Tilden and the two cameras from 308 Green Grove, was there a degree of time overlap?
Yes.
And based upon that, were you able to determine anything?
Yes, it's the same vehicle.
So that vehicle that we see at 2:07:55 a.m. on camera 4 of 308 Green Grove Road, what direction is it about to head?
I believe it's northbound on Green Grove.
You can undo that. You can do that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Now, from a timeline perspective, did you then take a look at any cameras back in a different town?
Yes,
Where was that?
back in Willowbrook.
Now, if I could I have S263E? Now, just before we play this, can you indicate what we see on the screen?
This is the surveillance camera from 85 Willowbrook.
Now, this is video that you mentioned reviewing, at least briefly, on the 20th, November 20th, 2018?
21st, I believe.
21st, sorry.
Yes.
You were secured by another detective.
Yes, Detective Scott Moore.
Did you watch this and other video many times during the course of your investigation?
Yes, I do.
Now, can you tell us what time is depicted on the screen right now?
Yes, it's November 20th, 2018 at 2:23:51 a.m.
Going to first play this in its entirety. As far as the positioning of this camera, I think you talked about it earlier, but can you tell us where this camera is actually positioned?
This camera's on a gate attached to the driveway. That's about roughly 15 yards of driveway. Then there's a gate, and then it'd be a longer driveway beyond the gate. This camera is on the west side of the driveway, trained out on the road in a slightly, on the east side, faced in a slightly western view.
And was there a vehicle that we just watched on that footage?
Yes,
What direction is that vehicle traveling?
it is heading westbound.
Now, can we just slow down one notch and then play it? I'm going to ask you to pause it at 2:23:57. And just to be clear, the direction of travel there?
It's westbound towards, which would be Route 34.
Now, can we go back just a couple seconds? I'm going to ask you to pause it at 2:23:58. Do you make any observations there, Detective?
Yes,
And what was that?
I can see the vehicle's taillights.
Can you put a square around that? You can let that play through.
Going to mark that as 263E.1. Can we undo the box, please?
Yes.
Now, can I just strike that? You talked about 44 Willowbrook Road previously, correct?
Yes.
Now, the vehicle, as we just discussed, is heading westbound. Is that generally in the direction of 44 Willowbrook?
Yes.
Now, you obtained footage from 44 Willowbrook?
Yes.
Now, if I could just first, can I have S263F on the screen, please? Now, just to be clear, what do we see here?
This is video surveillance, a still image from 44 Willowbrook, dated 11/20/2018, 12/32/12.
Okay. And again, did you determine that that time was accurate?
Yes.
Does that fairly and accurately depict, the viewpoint from 44 Willowbrook looking out towards the street and towards 15 Willowbrook?
Yes, it does.
Could I have 263G, please? Now, before we play it, what do you see on the screen right now?
This is a nighttime view of that same camera that we just observed during daylight hours. This camera, this view is timestamped 11/20/2018 at 2:27:35.
Is that AM?
Yes, AM.
Could we just play it through once, please? Could we just slow it down one notch? I'm going to pause at 2:27:41 approximately. Detective, what do we see now?
The vehicle has entered the screen.
Okay. You could keep going, please. I should pause at approximately 47 seconds. Do you see anything in that photo, in that video?
Yes,
What do you see?
the vehicle's taillights.
Can you put a square around that? Can we capture it, please?
263G.1.
Now, Detective, before we go any further, I just want to ask you a couple questions because I want to discuss the accuracy of the times from the footage at 44 Willowbrook in comparison to 85 Willowbrook, okay?
Yes.
Now, can you tell us approximately how far 85 Willowbrook and 44 Willowbrook are apart?
About a half mile, approximately.
Now, did you, I think you've already said it, but did you review videos from these locations before and after the relevant times that we've discussed thus far?
Yes.
Now, with respect to other vehicles in those timeframes, let's say 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after, did you identify any other vehicles in those timeframes?
No.
On either camera?
No.
Now, you said previously that vehicle passed 85 Willowbrook at approximately 2:23:57,
Correct.
and another vehicle then passes 44 Willowbrook at 2:27:41. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And that's based upon what we just saw here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the difference between the times that you calculated is what? Approximately.
Approximately 3 minutes and 44 seconds.
Now, if you know, what's the approximate drive time?
Approximate 40 to 45 seconds, depending on the speed of travel, but 40 miles an hour would be approximately 40 seconds or so.
So again, when we just watched footage from 85 Willowbrook, it was approximately 2:23 and change, correct?
Correct.
But now we're down the street at 2:27, right?
Correct.
Now, based upon the drive time and the distance, were you able to confirm the discrepancy of one of those cameras?
Yes.
Which one is that?
It would have been 85 Willowbrook within 3 minutes slow.
Okay, so 85 Willowbrook, the one we watched just previously,
Correct.
it's 3 minutes left. So 2:26 would be what time?
I'm sorry, 2:20.
If 85 Willowbrook said it said 2:23, what would the time be?
It would be 2:26:57.
Now, having just watched this video from 44 Willowbrook, did you identify another clip from this camera that happened about an hour and 20 minutes later? And have you reviewed that video
Yes,
once or more than once?
many times during the course of this investigation.
Could I have S263H, please? Could you undo that, Detective, before we? Can I play it through once, please? Just going back to the beginning, what time is depicted on that camera?
It's November 20th, 2018 at 3:48:03 a.m.
Can you slow it down one notch? I'm going to ask you to play it. Pause at approximately 3:48:18. Come back with just a couple notches. You see anything on that video, Detective?
Yes,
What do you see?
vehicles taillights.
Could you possibly put a box around them again? Can we also preserve that?
263H.1.
Now, if we could just run that through, I'm going to ask you what time the video clip ends.
We stopped at 3:48:82 a.m.
Can you undo that? Now, can I have 263I, please? Can we just come back? Pause it. Now, just to be clear, Detective, what are we looking at here?
This is 85 Willowbrook that we just viewed previously at a different time. The time depicted now is 3:45:46 a.m.
Okay, now based upon what we discussed a few moments ago regarding the time, can you tell us approximately, based upon your investigation and observations, what time would be correct on the screen right now?
If you would advance it 3 minutes, it would be 3:48:46.
Now, can we play that through once, please? Can we slow that down one notch? We're gonna play it again. Bring it back a couple notches. Try it again. No. It's okay. Now, Detective, what What's the direction of travel of that vehicle at this time?
Traveling eastbound on Willowbrook.
You can finish that. And just to be clear, regarding the video that you just testified to on Willowbrook, you note that a vehicle passes 85 Willowbrook at approximately 2:27:57 and arrives at 44 Willowbrook at approximately 2:27:41. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And then that vehicle later, or a vehicle later, leaves or passes through 44 Willowbrook at 3:48:16, correct?
Correct.
And arrives at 85 Willowbrook at about 3:45:56.
348.56.
3:48:56, sorry. Now, I'm going to take you back to Ocean Township, okay?
Yeah.
Can I have 263J? Detective, can you just acquaint us with what we're looking at here again?
This is 308 Green Grove Road. Once again, this is I believe it was Channel 4, which is looking out facing northbound down Green Grove Road.
Okay. Can we play that once through? Clip ends at about 4:08:29. Does that sound right?
Sorry?
The clip ends at about 4:08:29. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay. Now, just play it through once again. I may pause it once or twice quickly. Keep it running. But what do we see here, Detective?
See a vehicle approaching, driving down Green Grove Road southbound, approaching the intersection at Tilton Drive.
And what does the vehicle do?
Vehicle makes a left-hand turn onto Tilton Drive.
Now, again, I think you said earlier, there's another camera, 308 Green Grove, correct?
Correct.
Can I have S263K, please? Yeah, I'm going to play that through once, okay? Now, can we just slow that down one notch? We're going to play that again. As we're watching it, we see a vehicle on Green Grove,
Yes.
and the vehicle goes where?
It's approaching Tilton Drive and makes a left-hand turn onto Tilton Drive.
Was it 28, please, approximately? Now, I'm paused at 4:08:28 a.m., correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, are you able to describe the color of the vehicle?
It's a light-colored vehicle.
Okay. And as far as the coloring of the vehicle, is there any differences?
Yes. The majority of the vehicle is light-colored, but along the bottom, again, the two passenger side doors this time, there's an area of dark coloring from the rear passenger door up through the front passenger door.
Okay. And did you make any observations of the shape or anything of the vehicle?
Yes.
And what's that?
There's a curvature from the front to the back.
Now, that dark area along the bottom of the front and rear passenger side door,
Yes.
was that a distinguishing feature that you discussed earlier along that same area of the vehicle at approximately 2:07:50?
Yes.
And the curvature, was that similar?
Yes.
Can you go back just a couple seconds? I'm going to pause it. Okay, we're starting at 4:08:27. Pause at 4:08:29, please. What do you see, Detective?
taillights of the vehicle.
Can you put a square around that?
.263K.1.
Thank you, Judge.
Just going to show you what's been marked as S264. Do you recognize that?
Yes. That's, of course.
Okay. And what is that?
This is two separate photographs. The top photograph is timestamped November 20th, 2018, 2:07:50 a.m. That's the still photograph we observed earlier during my testimony regarding a vehicle heading westbound on Tilton Drive.
Okay. No, I was going to say, what's depicted in the bottom of the photograph?
The bottom is a photograph taken in our storage yard of a Porsche Macan that belongs to Paul Caneiro.
Okay. Now, this is a two-page
Excuse me
document?
for a second. We're just going to have to take a technical break right now. We're having an issue with our printer. Let's do our mid-afternoon break right now, if you don't mind, everybody. We'll be in for 15 minutes. You can do that a little slower, don't you think? Just give us a little help. Just kidding.
Okay. So technical difficulties with the printer. So Judge Lemieux is calling the afternoon break right now. They usually come back in like 15 minutes. And then we will continue with testimony from Ryan Mahony, the detective, I believe, with Christopher Decker, the prosecution. So everybody get a good stretch in. It's very interesting so far. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Sounds like we're coming back from the break. I can hear people all coming into the courtroom. The judge should be in shortly.
All rise. Here for the back session. The audience.
Last leg for the day. Everybody take a seat. So just so that you're aware, we had an issue with the printer. So what we're going to do now is we may, if I say point 1, point 2 to next to an exhibit, we're going to print it. You're just not going to print it here. We're going to print it in my chambers, and then we'll bring it back out. We'll have it marked for you later if it gets moved into evidence. But we just didn't want to slow down the process with putting in a new printer right now. Okay. That being said, prosecutor, when you're ready. And we've saved the last 4 that did have some issues, and they're going to be printed, and we'll make sure all counsel see it. If there's any issues, you guys can let me know.
Sure. I'm sorry if I broke the printer.
No, you're good.
Now, Detective, we were just talking about S264, and you discussed page 1, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to draw your attention to the second page of that document. Can you tell us what's depicted on there?
Yes, two separate photographs, top and bottom. The top picture is dated, stamped November 20, 2018, 4:08:28 a.m. It's a still photograph from the surveillance footage that we just viewed. The bottom photograph is a picture of a Porsche Macan that was taken from Paul Caneiro's home, 27 Tilton Drive. It's stored in our facility, the Palm County Prosecutor's Office.
Just going to ask if I could go to S1A, slide 173, please. Do you recognize that, Sergeant Mahony?
Yes.
Okay, is that consistent with the photograph that we just discussed up there in S1A? 264?
Yes, it is.
Okay, again, just the jury not seeing it. Can you just explain what's depicted on that?
Yes, it's a top photograph, which is a still photograph taken from the surveillance footage that we just viewed, dated 11/20/2018 at 2:07:50 a.m., which depicts the vehicle that we discussed earlier. The bottom photograph is a photograph of a Porsche Macan, a white Porsche Macan that belongs to Paul Caneiro that was taken from his home in 27 Tilton. And it's stored in our storage facility at the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office.
Okay, so that bottom photo is taken in a facility belonging to the County of Monmouth?
Correct.
Can I have slide 174, please? Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What's that again?
So the top photograph is a still photograph from the surveillance footage that we just viewed. It's stamped 11/20/2018 at 4:08:28 a.m. And the bottom photograph is depicts the passenger side of the same Porsche Macan that was taken from 27 Tilton Drive, which belonged to Paul Caneiro.
I just briefly have S1A, slide 19, please. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
What's that show?
That shows it's a photograph of the rear of the white Porsche Macan that was parked at 27 Tilton on the day of November 20th, 2018, when the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office was on scene.
Now, lastly, we were talking about cameras at 308 Green Grove, correct?
Correct.
Now, I want to next go to $263L. I could. Can you just, what time is depicted on that camera right now?
It's November 20th, 2018 at 4:08:13 a.m.
Now, can we just play that one, please? Can we just play that through, and then I'm just going to ask you to pause it at 408:28? Detective, can you just for the record, can you indicate the time?
It's 4:08:28 a.m.
I just want to show you again what's been marked as S264 identification.
We just talked about this document, correct?
Yes.
And this is the second page of S264?
Yes.
And the time on the top of that picture is what?
4:08:28.
Is that the same time here?
Correct.
Okay. And this vehicle right here in S264, where is this car?
It's in front of 308 Green Grove's driveway on Tilton Drive.
Okay, and it's heading towards what house?
27 Tilton Drive, or 30 Tilton first.
Now 30 Tilton's on the screen right now?
Correct.
Okay, so 408:28 on S263L. Does that appear to be the same vehicle?
Yes.
We can run that through. And ended about 408:34, is that accurate?
Yes.
I want to go to 263N, please. Do you recognize what's depicted on the screen right now?
Yes, this is 30 Tilton Drive surveillance camera channel number 7. The date and time on this one is 11/20/2018 at 4:08:30 a.m.
Can we just play that first through? Slow that down one notch. We're gonna play it again. Pause it at 40. What do you see there, Detective?
I see rear tail lights of a vehicle. It appears the brake lights are activated.
Let's go back a little bit to like 36. Pause at 4:37. Sorry.
Yes.
What do you see there?
Rear tail lights of a vehicle.
Can you just put a box around it, please? Capture that.
263M.1.
Just want to make sure we capture it before we undo it. We okay?
It's printed in the chambers.
Now, I'm just going to keep playing. I'm going to ask you to tell me to pause it if you see anything of significance based upon your review.
Pause.
If we just go back like a second before we play it, can you just tell me why you said to pause it there?
There's a flicker of light that can be seen at around the 4:08:57 mark.
Okay. We play that again. Can we just go back just to be clear? Just gonna pause it at 4:08:54. I'm gonna play it again once we get off. You said it earlier, but based upon your testimony earlier and your review of this video, the area where we saw the flickering of lights is consistent with what?
It's consistent with the video that we watched earlier at the 2:08 hour that showed a flickering of light.
Thank you. Now, for purposes of your investigation, was there a point in time when you attempted to estimate the drive time between 27 Tilden and Willowbrook Drive in
Yeah.
Colts Neck?
Yes.
And how'd you do that?
At first, I put directions into Google Maps to see what the approximate drive time would be.
Okay, and what was the approximate drive time?
There's several different routes you could take, but Google Maps indicated anywhere between 18 to 23 minutes drive time.
Okay, and did you drive it yourself?
I did.
Where did you start and where did you finish?
I started at 15 Willowbrook and I finished at 27 Tilton.
And approximately, how much time did it take?
Approximately 19 minutes. Excuse me.
Did you document that?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Cross?
Detective, good afternoon. Counselor, good afternoon. So let's just start here. Obviously, we watched several different surveillance videos from different addresses this afternoon, right? Yes. One thing that we didn't, and we saw a vehicle or vehicles in each of those videos, right? Yes. One thing we didn't see in any of those videos was who was driving the vehicle that we were looking at, right? That's correct. Because we were not able to see inside the vehicle, correct? Yeah. So we don't know who was driving the vehicle. We don't know how many people were in the vehicle. We don't know if there were passengers in the vehicle. You can't see inside the vehicle. We have cameras from the area of Tilton Drive in Ocean Township, right? Yes. We have cameras from the area of Willowbrook Road in Colts, right? Yes. Those two locations, those two roads, are roughly 20 minutes apart from one another by car. Correct. We did not see any surveillance video today anywhere in that journey between those two roads. Correct. We also know that you did a drive from Willowbrook to Tilton Drive, right? You took Willowbrook to Longbridge Road to do that drive, right? And then you went to Laird Road. Correct. And then you continued to drive down. And along those roads, you, I'm sure, noticed certain things about the geography of the area, right? Correct. In Colts Neck, for example, I'm sure you noticed on Longbridge Road that it's a very rural, kind of bucolic location, right? The homes are spaced out. The homes are spaced out. It's a country kind of farm town, fair to say? Right. And as you get closer to Ocean, you're going to see that the houses are closer together, right? There's more of them. Yes. There are more businesses along the road. There are establishments, there's an indoor tennis center along the way, right? I'm not sure. Okay. Along that route that you traveled, did we see any surveillance cameras from that travel route today? When I made that travel, I wasn't looking for surveillance cameras. I was just approximating a time. You were just approximating the time? Yes. Okay. So then you didn't document during that trip, for example, what cameras might have been located at residences or businesses along the way? No. Okay. Because at that point in time, you're not curious to get that information. This was much after the fact the drive time was conducted. No, that wasn't the point of my travel. When you say this was much after the fact, you're saying that you did this drive to get the distance, not back in 2018. You did this drive years later. Correct. 2018, I did a search on Google to see what the approximate drive time was, knowing there was numerous routes, and I don't know the approximate route of travel. It would have been impossible for me to recreate the exact route of travel. But let's take this a step back, though. When we're talking about surveillance along that route, right? We didn't see any surveillance of that travel route today, right? I'm just not sure I follow. When I took that trip, was I looking for surveillance cameras? Well, did you? Yeah, I understand you did the trip years later. I'm saying back in 2018, did you obtain surveillance from that travel route, anywhere along that travel? I didn't conduct that travel route in 2018, so I wouldn't have been taking surveillance. Okay, I'm just gonna, but just as a yes or no, did you obtain surveillance from anywhere along Longbridge Road? The only surveillance I obtained was part of was Willowbrook Drive. Okay. So The surveillance you obtained was from Willowbrook Drive and only Willowbrook Drive?
Me personally, yes.
Gotcha. And then the surveillance that you've reviewed here today was from Tilton and Willowbrook, right?
Correct.
Okay. The two houses that we saw surveillance from as far as Willowbrook are 44 and 85.
Yes.
Right. And directionally, they're both on the same side. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say this. 44 Willowbrook, just to refresh, is the location across the street from 15 Willowbrook, right?
Yes.
And then further down the road is 85.
Yes.
You would have to go, if you were coming from 44 Willowbrook, you would have to pass 85 to get to Longbridge Road, right?
Yes.
There are other ways to get to Willowbrook, as you mentioned before, right?
Yes.
One of them would be Route 34.
Correct.
If a person took Route 34 to go onto Willowbrook Road, they would not need to pass 85 before they got to 44, right? Because they'd be coming from the opposite direction.
Yes.
We didn't see any surveillance today from the Route 34 side of Willowbrook Road, right?
I don't believe there is any, but yes. No, you didn't.
Okay. Your report indicates that you went to, other than 15 Willowbrook, you went to 3 locations in Colts Neck, right?
I don't recall.
Okay. So my understanding from your report is that you went to 85 Willowbrook, 44 Willowbrook, and then 51 River's Edge Drive. All right? But I can show you, Judge, I'm going to approach.
Sure.
I'm going to show you this. This is SP58. Just tell me if this is your report from 2018.
Yes, it is.
Okay. You recognize it?
Yes.
You've obviously seen it before today.
Yes, I have.
You reviewed it in preparation for your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. If you go through that, would you tell me if, other than 15 Willowbrook, the 3 locations are 85 Willowbrook, 44 Willowbrook, and then the 51 River's Edge?
Yes. Yes, I did go to 51 River's Edge. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the, as far as Colts Neck is concerned, those are the 3 locations that are mentioned in the report.
Yes.
Thank you. You went to River's Edge, as far as I understand, not to get surveillance, but to speak with a person who is a potential witness in the case.
Correct.
And that person was Dennis Corpora.
Correct.
And that person you were speaking to, because he had called 911 on the previous night.
Yes.
And you wanted to talk to him about the substance of that call, right?
Yes.
Specifically because it was a shots fired call.
Yes.
Now, you know that you do say in your report, you know that, of course, when a person calls 911, the call is recorded, right?
Are you asking me if not? Yes, 911 calls reported, yes.
Right. And not only is the content of the call recorded, but of course, the time and date of the call are recorded as well, right? And that can get put into a 911 log. It can also get put into something like a CAD report, right?
Correct.
Okay. So in that CAD report also would be the time and date of the call, but also a report about when the event that the person's calling about occurred, right?
it would be up to whatever the 911 operator puts into the system.
Did you look at the CAD for Mr. Kapoor's call?
I don't recall if I did or not. I may have 7 years ago. I don't recall.
Okay. So just showing you what was previously marked as 109, D109, sorry. Okay. Is that something you recognize?
No, I don't recognize it. I've seen CAD calls before, but I don't recognize that specific.
You don't recognize this specific?
No, I don't recall looking at that document.
Understood. Do you recognize that it is a CAD for a shots fired call?
It appears to be, yes.
And do you recognize that it's a CAD for shots fired call in Colts?
Yes.
From the relevant date?
I didn't look that closely, if you want to.
Well, okay. Sure.
Yes.
November 20th, 2018, right?
Yes.
Okay. From what would appear to be, based on your testimony today, a potentially relevant time period.
Yes.
Okay. So what this CAD's going to show is that the occurrence of the event about which the caller was calling transpires at roughly 3:31 and 33 seconds a.m. on November 20th, 2018.
That's what the document shows, yes.
Okay. You have no reason to dispute the accuracy of the document, right?
As it's inputted, no.
Okay. One of the things that we're doing, and as far as I understand with your testimony, not just about the drive time, but about the times on the surveillance camera, is we are establishing potentially a timeline for events that occurred that evening.
Correct.
And the timeline is important for investigative reasons, right?
Of course.
We know that you had some testimony about a time discrepancy between 85 Willowbrook and 44, right? The prosecutor talked to you about that as a situation where the car passes 85 first before it passes 44, right?
Yes.
But really, I think the better way to explain it would be when it passes 44 before it passes 85, you can better see that time discrepancy, right?
Correct.
Because it goes past 44 before it goes past 85, right?
Yes.
In reality,
Yes.
right? And but the times no longer matched up when you reviewed both of those videos, right?
I'm not sure I'm following. When I reviewed the videos, the times didn't match up in what regard? With the 3-minute discrepancy?
Yes.
When I initially?
You noticed this because in reviewing the videos, you determined that there was a 3-minute discrepancy.
Well, it goes back, it would have to travel back in time, 3:48, and then it passes another location at 3:45. So
Right.
yes, there's a discrepancy.
Right. So when you saw it, you noticed it at the later portion of those videos, at the 3:48. Right.
No, I noticed in the front portion too, because it doesn't take 3 minutes and 44 seconds for that short of a drive.
You say that, but that's based on a drive you did where you drove continuously without stopping from 85 to 44.
No, it's a half-mile distance. It's assuming a car is traveling at 30 to 35 miles an hour, how long it would take, and it's roughly 40 seconds. Right. That's what the assumption is.
But you don't know if the car did stop.
No.
And if the car did stop, we don't know how long it stopped for, right?
Well, there was no other vehicles on the road. There were motion-activated cameras. No other vehicles set it off. The camera from 85 was continuously recording, and no other vehicles were observed on the road.
So the question is a little bit different than that, though. It's if the vehicle we're talking about stopped in between 85 and 44, we wouldn't know, right?
If it stopped,
If the vehicle stopped, if the vehicle came to a stop.
No.
If the vehicle came to a stop and, I don't know, let somebody out of it, we wouldn't know, right? Because it wouldn't have been caught on camera.
No.
And the time discrepancy is obviously relevant to our timeline, but what I'm hearing you say today is you realized the discrepancy when you reviewed the 85 Willowbrook video in conjunction with the 44 Willowbrook video, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you went to 85 Willowbrook, is it your testimony today that while you were there, you didn't review the surveillance video? Or you did?
I did not. My recollection when I was at 85 Willowbrook is the woman I spoke to, Debbie Mercantali, did not know how to operate the system. I believe she showed me a live shot of what it captured, but did not know how to operate the system. She called her husband, I believe Sergeant Chapman spoke with her husband. He agreed to come home to assist in the duplication of the video, at which time we called the electronic surveillance unit to come and obtain that video. I believe I left the scene prior to the SU coming. That's my recollection.
Gotcha. So you're on scene that day at 85 Willowbrook, you talk to the homeowner, but you leave before you're able to see the video played that day.
Yes, the rewound, yes. Yeah.
So as of that date, it's not, as of the day you were at 85 Willowbrook, it's not as if you could have recognized the time discrepancy at that point in time.
I believe I could have, may have looked at my watch, I believe a phone, because I don't wear watches, and may have made a note of it. I have a vague recollection, again, this is a long time ago, of making a note that there was a time difference. It wasn't until I sat down with the videos and I was able to corroborate the discrepancy based upon the travel of vehicles. And there's other vehicles that are traveling on that road, which would be consistent with the same time difference. A truck passes by and it takes approximately 2 minutes and 12 minutes to get to 85, the same as the vehicle that we observe at 345.
Gotcha. None of that's in your report, right?
No.
Okay. Why don't we talk about the location in terms of some photos, okay?
Sure.
This is previously published as D1-317. And I'm going to put it on the screen and see if you recognize it. Okay. Just moving this up slightly here. All right. You see what's on the screen?
Yes.
Do you recognize it?
It appears to be an undated aerial photograph of 15 Willowbrook.
Okay. And we see in the center of the photo, is that the structure that you recognize as 15 Willowbrook?
Yes.
And do you see the solar panels to the left of that structure?
I do.
And you know that at the 15 Willowbrook location, there were a set of solar panels?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we do not see, correct me if I'm wrong, but we do not see 44 Willowbrook pictured in this photo, right?
No, we do not.
Do you see Willowbrook Road?
Yes.
Okay. Is it going across the photo from left to right at the top of the screen?
Yes.
In the upper left-hand portion of the photo, do you see a place where what appears to maybe be a dirt road intersects with Willowbrook Road?
Yes.
Could you circle that for me?
The entire road or the entrance? Or?
Just the entrance. Okay. And would it be correct to say that between that intersection that you circled and the driveway of 15 Willowbrook, that in between those 2 points on the other side of the street is where we would find 44 Willowbrook Road?
More towards the driveway of 15, but yes, in between those. That's exactly.
Is it your understanding that the surveillance video that we looked at from 44 Willowbrook Road, is it your understanding that that driveway that you circled is not visible in that footage?
The surveillance footage we view at 44?
Yes.
Can you see that driveway?
Yes.
No.
You cannot?
No.
Okay. In the surveillance footage from 44 Willowbrook, on the opposite side of the street, when the car that you talked about passes, when it first passes at 2:26, I think it was, in the morning, that vehicle is going from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen.
Yes.
Meaning that that vehicle is headed, is past the driveway of 15 Willowbrook and is headed towards that driveway that you circled.
Yes.
Okay. So the significance of that footage that we saw from 44 Willowbrook doesn't have anything to do with that vehicle potentially pulling into the driveway of 15, right?
I can't say it did or didn't know.
You don't know.
No.
But you know that the vehicle passes 44 Willowbrook and is then in that video is headed towards that driveway that you circled, right? So beyond that driveway that you circled, just down the road is the intersection of Route 34, right?
Correct.
There's really not anything in terms of houses further down that road after that driveway, right? At the end of this driveway that you circled, we see what appears to be a structure.
At the end of, I'm sorry, leading up to this, we follow the one driveway?
Yes.
Yes.
At the time when you were conducting this canvass for surveillance videos back in 2018, did you go to that structure?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Was it occupied or unoccupied?
I don't know if there was, when I was there, I don't remember if I met with the homeowner or not, or if somebody was there.
You don't know if you met with anybody or not?
No, I don't recall.
Okay. When you go to a location and you're trying to talk to somebody and nobody's home or nobody answers, what do you typically do? As an investigator, what do you typically do?
I'd leave a card or go back.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Did you leave a card?
No, I didn't. I believe we had a canvas team that eventually did stop and speak with somebody at that home.
Okay. Now that fact is not in your report either, right?
I had nothing to do with it.
Well, nor is the fact that you went to that location.
Right. There's
Okay.
nobody there.
Sure, there could be people there or not, but I'm just saying in your report, you don't mention ever going to that location,
It's
right?
not my report now.
Okay. So after you went there and maybe left a card or not, we're not sure, it would have been up to somebody else other than yourself to try and go back to that location and make contact.
Well, there was a canvas team assembled. Their objective was to do just that.
Okay. Did you told us that it was not clear whether the house is occupied or not. I take that to mean that the canvas team didn't provide you with an update ultimately of whether they made contact with the person at that house or not.
I believe there was surveillance video pulled from that location.
Now, at the beginning of that driveway, if we look immediately to the right on the photo, do you see another break in between the sets of trees?
To the right of the circle ledger?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you, at any point in time, respond to that location in between the break and the trees?
I mean, I can't say there was a break in the trees at the time. I don't know when this is dated, and I mean, 44 Willowbrook's not even built yet, so I can't say for certain that that was there. I don't recall any break in the trees.
Showing you a different photo. Oh, I apologize.
Can I see counsel just real quickly before you do anything with that photo? Just come on up for a second.
Okay, this is some of the best information to date on file for the evidence, in my humble opinion. I've been waiting for them to show how Paul had opportunity to do this. In other words, placing him near the scene, on the scene, towards the scene, show him leaving his home or arriving somewhere. And they have. Now, I know the defense is going to do everything they can to put some doubt on all of that, but it's pretty hard to put doubt on photographs captured by regularly running cameras in the area. Not a person, not the mistake of a detective. They'll question the investigation, though, I'm sure.
Is that printed? Was that printed?
Yes.
Okay. So the print was D1-317. Is that .1? Or we're at, are we at .2 on 317? .1. .2. Okay, that was point. I don't know if you heard us. The one that we printed was 317.2.
Okay, thank you. So, Detective, I'm sorry, so could we just, the house at the end of the long driveway,
Yes.
could we just put an X on that house?
15 Willowbrook, this one?
No, the house at the end
Oh,
of the
sorry.
long driveway, the driveway you circled? Okay. Could we print this photo?
Sure, 317.3. Sergeant, can you just hit the undo?
Yes, Judge, sorry.
Now, this is D1-318. Just going to show you. Do you recognize this just as a? I know it's a little dark, but do you recognize it as a close-up of the area of that clearing and where that long driveway meets Willowbrook Road?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I'm going to ask to publish this.
Prosecutor?
No problem.
Okay. Ken?
Okay. So this is D1-318. In this photo, would you say we could see a little more clearly the area of where that long driveway meets Willowbrook Road?
Yeah, it's a closer photograph.
And it's also a close-up photo of what appears to be a clearing in between the trees along the property line of 15 Willowbrook.
Yes.
Okay. So that location that we're looking at now, that's the location that you're saying you're not sure if that existed back, when I say that clearing in the trees, You're not sure if that existed back in November of 2018? Okay. Did you attempt to get onto the 15 Willowbrook property by going by any avenues other than the driveway?
No.
You did not?
I did not.
So you didn't, for example, walk down the street and try to get in through a clearing in the yard?
No.
And you didn't, for example, walk onto that driveway that's depicted in D1318 and try and walk through the tree line, right?
No.
Okay. This is D1-309, I believe, previously published.
Go ahead.
Do you recognize the area in this photo as well, Detective?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, it's another aerial photo of the 15 Willowbrook property, right?
Yes.
And in the upper right hand, I apologize, of this photo, we see that area of the space between the tree line we were just talking about, right?
I'm not sure I see it.
Okay. Well, do you see the driveway at 15 Willowbrook in this
I
photo?
believe it's beyond that row of trees at the top.
Okay. I'll take a step back. I'm sorry. Do you see the driveway of 15 Willowbrook in this photo?
Yes.
Do you see where the driveway intersects with Willowbrook Road?
Yes.
Could you circle where the driveway of 15 Willowbrook intersects with the road? Now, when we see the vehicle that you testified about today passing 44 Willowbrook at 2:26 in the morning, what direction is that vehicle going in this photo?
It's going northbound.
Northbound.
Well, in the photograph, north and up.
Can you just put an N on the photo where it would north be, just to help everyone out, orient them, please?
And when the photo, and where, based on going to 44 Willowbrook and seeing where the surveillance camera is, right? That captured this footage that we saw today. As the vehicle is passing that camera, do you have any idea of where it would be along Willowbrook Road?
I can approximate roughly where it would be. I believe the driveway is here. So when it goes out of view, I would say it's roughly, should I put an X?
Sure.
Roughly around here.
Okay. You put an X where the vehicle goes out of view on the 2:26 a.m. clip from 44 Willowbrook Road, right?
Yes.
So that means that that vehicle is traveling north in the photo, and at 2:26, it's past 15 Willowbrook Road, the driveway, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, obviously, it would appear that that vehicle did not stop at the driveway of 15 Willowbrook Road as it passed it at 2:26 a.m.
That's accurate.
And that would mean that if that vehicle is significant or meaningful for this case, it's not meaningful because it pulled into the driveway, right?
Did not know.
If that vehicle has an involvement in this case, that vehicle must have pulled off or in somewhere other than the driveway of 15 Willowbrook Road, right?
Yes.
And we don't have footage of where that vehicle pulled over or pulled in, or even if it did, right?
No.
And we don't have video of anybody getting out of the car at that location, or video of how many people got out of the car, or even if anybody got out of the car, right? To go back to the issue about timelines. Your understanding of this case is that you get to this scene, 15 Willowbrook. Obviously, you're being told that this is more than just a house fire, right? And in fact, the person later determined to be Keith Caneiro is dead and is lying in the front lawn, right? He's the only victim in this case who was outside of the house, right?
Yes.
All the other victims in the case were inside the house.
Yes, I understand.
Your understanding is that Keith is outside the house because the power's out, right?
Yes.
And he's going to take a look to see what's going on with the power, right?
That's my understanding. Okay.
So, in terms of timelines, if one person committed these crimes, right? And that one person arrived in the vehicle that you've been testifying about today. They would have had that specified window, presumably that you've testified about, in order to do everything they needed to do to commit these crimes, right?
We're assuming that the vehicle that we talked about today is the vehicle that carried the occupant that carried out the murders?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the time frame. That's the window that they would have, yes.
Okay. Obviously, you don't know if that's the vehicle, but if it is, that would be the time frame, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if Keith was killed first before anybody else, right? Then the time frame for the commission of these homicides would be from when Keith was killed to when the last person was killed to when we again see the vehicle driving down the road, right?
Are you asking me to speculate on the order of people murdered?
I'm just saying if that was the order.
If you're telling me that Keith was first murdered and the children and Jennifer were after that, so the question is, from the first shots to when that vehicle left, that's the time frame. Yes, that's inaccurate.
Okay. So that would be from 3:33 a.m. until 3:48 a.m.
You're getting 333 from what?
The CAD that I showed you that you said you had no reason to dispute.
Yeah, but I don't know if that CAD's accurate to the shots that were fired. I can't testify to that.
Okay. But you did say you had no reason to dispute it, right?
The CAD is accurate as it was inputted. I don't know if that CAD is accurate as to when the caller heard shots, when that caller called. It's when 911 took the call and put that in the information in.
So 3:48 is when the vehicle that you testified about is seen driving the opposite way, right?
Yes.
Going back towards Long Bridge Road, right? That means that if that vehicle is the same vehicle from earlier, and if it pulled off and parked somewhere for this period of time, somebody would have had to have gotten back in the car, gotten back onto the drivable part of the road, and been driving by 3:48 a.m., right?
Yes.
Okay. And if that vehicle is actually a significant part of this investigation, then that aspect of the timeline, 3:48 a.m., is also pretty critically important, right?
Yes.
Now, just turning to Tilton Drive for a moment. Tilton Drive meets up with Green Grove, right?
So Murray, I don't mean to slow you down. Can we print this then?
Oh, I apologize, Judge, yes.
All right. So this is 309.1, or do we have anything else written on this one? Yeah. 309.1. Mr. Murray, would you like the lights back on, or do you want to keep them off for now?
I like it in the dark, Judge, but I know that the court may not, so I'll leave my thumb out.
I think you're speculating on what I like and what I don't. I'm just kidding. We'll turn them on for now. I just want to see everyone's beautiful faces over my jury over here, so keep an eye on you. Go ahead.
Thank you. There's two entrances onto Tilton Drive, right? Like there's two, you can get to Tilton Drive by taking one of two entrances.
I believe that's correct, yes.
Because Tilton Drive is basically a horseshoe.
Yes.
So the video that we saw today from Tilton Drive is video that is all from one side of that horseshoe, right? 308 Green Grove is at the corner, right? And 30 Tilton is next to it, right? But they're on the same end of Tilton Drive, right?
Yes.
We didn't see surveillance from the other entrance of Tilton Drive, right? And obviously, you collected the video surveillance from Willowbrook only, or from Colts Neck only, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure you would say, and it's fair to say, you weren't involved in the surveillance collection from Tilton Drive, right?
I was not.
Okay. Now, obviously, Colts Neck appears to be an affluent area, right?
It appears to be, yes.
And of course, McCann might not be that uncommon of a sight in a town like that, right?
I suppose.
Okay. Did you watch, how much of the surveillance video from 44 Willowbrook did you view as part of your investigation in this case?
Safe to say all of it.
Okay.
At some point or another.
I don't have the 348.
All right. Just get rid of the, can you do the undo on the screen for me? Thank you.
Second 40.
So, thank you, Mr. Dever. What I asked the prosecutor to just put on the screen for us is a still shot of the surveillance camera from 44 Willowbrook. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. And that's at 3:48. Now, there were other cars that passed by this address that evening, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember the time frame?
There's one car that passes at 2:45-ish a.m. Then there's this 3:48 a.m. activation, and then I don't believe the camera is activated again until the 5 a.m. hour.
Right. Now, when you say 2:45, do you think, tell me if I'm wrong, do you think it's more accurate, maybe 2:46 and 51 seconds?
That could be, I believe it was a larger vehicle.
Okay. Obviously, that vehicle appeared to you, it looked different to you than the vehicle in the surveillance you testified about today, right?
Yes.
It appeared to have different taillights.
Yes.
You didn't think it was the same vehicle or had similar taillights, let's say, to the vehicle you observed on Hilton Drive, right? But the vehicle was on Willowbrook Road, right? And the vehicle was on Willowbrook Road at 2:46 in the morning, right? On November 20th of 2018, right?
Yes.
That vehicle appears to be coming from the area of where Route 34 meets Willowbrook Road, right?
Yes.
Did we ever find out anything additional about that vehicle?
No.
After that vehicle passes 44 Willowbrook, do we know where it goes?
It goes past 85 Willowbrook.
Do we know what happens after that?
No.
Am I correct that obviously this footage goes back further in time than just the early morning hours, right? There's footage on this camera from the evening of the 19th, right?
Correct.
Okay. Did you review that footage as part of your investigation?
Yes.
Did you see anything significant in any portion of your review of the footage from the evening of the 19th?
Prior to the midnight hour, anything significant?
Yes.
Not to my recollection. No.
Okay. Judge, I'm going to ask to play a clip. It's also from the same surveillance camera.
44 Willowbrook?
It's from 44 Willowbrook.
Okay.
It's from earlier on the evening of the 19th.
Okay. Do we have that marked yet or not yet?
We do not have it marked, but I can mark it as D114.
D114?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind, when you start it, just make sure we get the time.
I'm also going to need the screen to go to table 2. Okay. Now, on screen, it looks to be the same angle of the surveillance camera, right?
Yes.
Okay, from 44 Willowbrook?
Yes.
You see the time is listed as 20:34, 10 seconds?
Yes.
That would be 8:34.
I'm gonna have to trust you. I'm not good with military time.
Okay.
I believe you if you say 8:34.
Okay. So, assuming I'm right that that's 8:34, this is from November 19th to 2018, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to play from the beginning of this clip. Okay, so that's to the end of the clip, which is a total of 17 seconds long. We saw a vehicle pass by that address in this clip. It looked to have a set of taillights on it.
Yes.
Those taillights appeared similar to you as the taillights that you've identified in other surveillance clips today?
Similar.
Okay. In terms of the pattern of where those lights are? Okay. And that there's 4 of them in the back, right?
Yes.
And how they're arranged?
Yes.
And it appears like, it seems like it's the same layout of taillights as other video that you've looked at today?
Similar to the video that we watched earlier, yes.
Okay. I'm going to unplug from this, dude. And tell me if I'm not understanding this, but basically, when you go out and canvass for surveillance footage, you obviously notate where you get the footage from, right?
The address, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the people you talk to, right?
Typically, yeah.
But am I understanding this, that you don't notate the residence you go to where you're unable to get footage?
It would be, I guess, you're asking me if I do that?
Yeah.
Typically, if I was doing a canvas, if my assignment was to canvas, and yeah, I would document where I went.
Right? Yeah. Because you'd want to know, you want other people to know, like, hey, I went to this location already. There's no point in you going, right?
Right.
You don't want to duplicate efforts of law enforcement, right?
Right.
So it makes sense to put down where you get surveillance footage from, but it also makes sense to document every place you go to, regardless of the results, right?
Yes.
But in this report that we have from you here, right, there's only 3 addresses listed as far as places you went in Colts.
Those are the only places I went to.
Okay. So that would, well, no.
There might be a 4th one where I spoke.
Because you said you went to the other place and left your car there.
No, I didn't.
Well,
You asked me what I would do typically.
yeah. But you said you went there.
I went to that location, yes.
Right. Okay. But you said you did. You just said you didn't go anywhere else, but you did go there, right?
I did, but a canvas team came and went after me.
Sure. But you went there, right?
I went there, yes.
Okay. And you didn't put that in your report.
There's no point in putting in the report. I didn't make contact with anybody, and another investigative team went there and actually pulled camera.
Right. So, but you said that you would document these things, whether you got results from going to the location or not, right?
I went to the scene, that house, the day of, looking around. I guess when I first arrived on scene, I was up at that side of that area. I noticed the house there. I looked around for surveillance cameras. I didn't see anything at first hand. When I went back to 15 Willowbrook, I was given an assignment to go out, canvas for surveillance cameras, and I was advised that there would be a team assembled to go out looking for surveillance cameras. That's my understanding. And I later found out that that address was spoken to and surveillance video was obtained.
Okay. Now, but just so we're on the same page, that's an example of a house that you went to that you didn't document in your report, right?
It's not documented, no.
Okay. But you're saying today that other than that house, there are or are not other houses that you went to that aren't mentioned?
To my recollection, the houses that are mentioned in my reports are the houses that I was at on that date.
Except for that one other one
Correct.
that you didn't mention.
Yes.
Judge, thank you. At this time, I don't think I have anything further.
Okay, thank you. Redirect?
Yeah, we were asking some questions about going to 51 Rivers Edge Drive, right?
Yes.
Okay, in Colts, correct?
Yes.
And I think Mr. Murray asked you that you went there because that was identified as address of someone who called 911
Correct.
about shots fired in early morning hours.
Yes.
Now, you saw the CAD report before, correct?
Yes.
You said you had no reason to disbelieve the accuracy of it, correct?
Correct.
Do you remember if the 911 caller said that he actually waited a little while before he called 911?
Yes, I did.
Did you document that in your report?
I believe I did.
Just going to show you what's been marked as S258 for identification. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay. If I were to draw your attention to page 4 of 7, I'm just going to ask you to take a look at that top paragraph, full paragraph, and then I'll ask you a question. Does that refresh your recollection?
It does.
And did he indicate, at this point, based upon his belief, what time he called 911?
Yes.
And that was what time?
326. Yeah.
You were asked about the timeline, correct?
Yes.
Is it fair to say investigatively that you try to do the best you can in order to document things that you found in their times?
Yes.
And I didn't ask you any questions about whether or not you had a theory on the timeline and what happened, when, and those types of things, correct?
I did.
I believe you were asked about a video of a car passing 44 Willowbrook. Do you recall what time it was?
About 8:30 the night before.
Hey, was there another one though? 2:46?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 2:46 a.m.
You familiar with whether or not someone was actually seen physically on 15 Willowbrook property just before that time?
I'm sorry, could you?
My question is this, and you may not know the answer investigatively, but at 2:46 a.m. on November 20th of 2018, do you know whether or not someone was actually depicted on the property on a camera just prior to that time?
No.
You don't know because that's not your role?
No.
Now, you were shown a bunch of pictures of 15 Willowbrook, correct?
Yes.
Did you know when they were taken? Now, is it fair to say that from what we saw on the surveillance from 44 Willowbrook, the person who killed everybody didn't just pull in the driveway?
That's correct.
And there was some other access points, correct?
Yes.
That are beyond the camera view?
Prosecutor, you just had pulled into a driveway. Which driveway are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I guess my original question was, is it logical to believe that the person who killed everyone pulled into the driveway of 15 Willowbrook Drive in Colts.
No.
Judge, I don't have any further questions.
Any recalls, Mr. Murray?
Just briefly, Judge. First of all, I just want to ask you, what do you think would be a more accurate record of when a person called 911? A computer that,
Objection, Judge. It's not the point of the question I asked. It's beyond the scope.
Can I see everybody at sidebar, please?
I do like when prosecution speaks up with out of scope. Now, they weren't doing that the first week very often. And occasionally, Judge Lemieux had to speak up. But Christopher Decker is definitely saying that's not the question I asked, out of scope. And we're going to be going back and forth on the law here and wait for Judge Lemieux's decision on this one for this objection. I'm actually curious about this one. This has been an excellent witness for the timeline. This actually has presented new evidence into the case that the jury has not heard, nor have we seen reporting on out here in the media about the vehicle, about the timeline, and to where opportunity was there. Because apparently Paul Caneiro, or someone driving Paul Caneiro's vehicle, or rather a vehicle that matches the description of Paul Caneiro's vehicle, was seen en route within the vicinity with the timeline. Kind of shoring it up very much. And when you add in the gunshot, even if there's a few minutes here or there that seem to be on a discrepancy, not unusual. It's not unusual to hear a gunshot. Sometimes to wake you up in the middle of the night, yes. Deer hunting at 3 o'clock in the morning is not exactly common. But deer hunting itself is. And hearing a gunshot, with the way things echo through the woods and how quiet it is out there with people not on the roads. There is not a lot of traffic in that area unless you're going specifically to a place. The homes are farther apart. There are lots of areas of undeveloped land in wooded area. Makes things echo a little bit, but also there's a quietness that we don't have, like say here where I live in Freehold, where it's much more populated and there is traffic on the road a lot. And I'm interested in this decision on this objection.
so just back to this issue about the 911 call. The prosecutor was just asking you questions about that. You indicated that the person who called 911 waited a little while before they called, right?
Yes.
You also took notes in this case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you took those notes based on what you did in the case, but also based on interviews that
Allowing
you
the
had with
question in a
witnesses,
different
right?
format.
And the reason why you take notes is to help yourself remember what's important when you're writing a report, right?
Yes.
The notes are taken closer in time to speaking with a witness, theoretically, than the report that you write based on, right? So the notes are taken closer in time to when your memory is freshest from speaking with the witness, right? And your notes in this case indicate that this person, Mr. Corpora, he called 911 at 3:27. Do you remember that?
I don't recall it. I put in my notes.
Okay, so in your notes, if it says that he heard shots at 3:26 a.m. and called 911 a minute later. Would you have any reason to think that shouldn't be in your notes?
If that's in my notes, then I probably was writing contemporaneously with what he was telling me.
Okay. So you were writing contemporaneously then that he heard shots at 3:26 and called 911 a minute later.
If that's what's in my notes. So again, a lot of distance and time. I don't recall the exact conversation, but that's what's written.
Okay. You don't recall the exact conversation, but if that's in your notes, then it's in your notes because you would have written it, right?
Yes.
And if it's in your notes because you would have written it, it's because that's what you were hearing from the witness at the time, right? You wouldn't put down things that the witness wasn't saying, right? You wouldn't make assumptions about what the witness is saying. When you're writing it in your notes, you're trying to write essentially for your own purposes a verbatim account of what the witness is telling you.
Yes.
And your notes, the witness tells you that he heard the shots at 3:26, right?
That's what that says. I don't have it in front of me, but if that's
Okay.
what it says.
Okay. Judge, can we approach for one moment?
Sure.
Okay, approaching again. And I do believe there'll be a counter again on this. In my humble opinion, prosecution is on it today. They are not letting things get out of hand. They are pushing back on some of the muddying of the water, so to speak, in the defense's style. I don't see many points being made by the defense today. I do think they did put some thoughts into the jury head. Not enough, though. Not enough for me.
Okay. Sorry about that. So, just showing you what is marked now as S260. Do you recognize the handwriting there?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. And so that's your handwriting, right?
It is.
Okay. Now, do you see the entry you made about Dennis Corpora?
Yes.
Could you read that to yourself?
Yes.
Okay. And just to clarify, these are the notes that you made in this case that you testified about today, right?
Yes.
Now, in these notes, you say that Mr. Corpora heard the shots at 3:26 a.m., right?
Yes.
And he called, and in his words, he called 911 a minute later, right?
My note says.
Okay. And like you said before, they'd be in your notes because most likely that's what he told you, right? You're writing down things as he's telling them to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. According to that CAD we saw today, that call was actually made at 3:33, right?
3:33.
Okay. No further questions.
Anything else, Mr. Decker?
Oh, thank you, Judge.
All right, sir, you can step down.
Thank you, Judge.
That was interesting. But
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you your dinner break.
We're coming back.
Seeing if you guys are paying attention, that's all, just making sure. All right, so you're done for today. Thank you so much for being so attentive all day today. So we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And we'll start back up right at 8:30. So don't discuss this case, don't do any research, and hope you have a nice, safe night. Thank you.
Well, there we have it. We are done court for the day, and quite an afternoon it was. You know, we had very interesting testimony this morning. Please check my prior video on that one for the morning session. Well, today, besides following up with volunteer firefighter Christopher Decker, he done the direct on Tyler Badaracco, definitely going over the electrical box and the damage that was done and how it could be done and etc. in the scene in some notice thing. I don't think the defense did a lot with Tyler either. But then comes Ryan Mahony for the rest of the afternoon. And now we hear new evidence that we did not hear before. That is photographs in actually kinds of shores up the timeline a bit as to giving Paul Caneiro opportunity. Again, putting a huge hole in his alibi of sleeping in the spare room, by the way, at his home in Ocean Township prior to the fire. We already have heard in the media, but not exactly presented yet, the DVR footage that actually shows him going towards the DVR to turn it off. And it was date and time stamped also prior to the fire. The fire was in the early morning.
Can I see counsel, please?
Okay, George is wanting to see counsel again. This is always interesting. So I'm going to keep it up just in case they make another announcement after the jury has left the room. Now, the reason I am really fascinated by this evidence today is that it finally puts a picture of a car access to Keith Caneiro's home within the vicinity, within the timeline of when the homicides occurred prior to the fire in Ocean Township at Paul Caneiro's house. And it has been stated in the timeline before that the murders must have happened then in a slow burning fire, according to media reports, but we haven't heard from an exact arson specialist yet of the types of fires that there were. Well, besides Mr. Flanagan, who's, well, in my humble opinion, whose testimony really wasn't good for either side. It was just a mess, an absolute mess of contradictions in confusing. Well, today's testimony, not so confusing. I did like the way Detective Mahony answered questions fully and completely, not allowing a lot of twisting or sketching. The defense did try to hit hard on the time difference of the CAD call for 911 when the gunshots were heard, and doing some speculation as to the spaces between the trees. And, well, even if that car was on the road, couldn't somebody have just come from that direction and gone that way instead of being on the driveway? And because the driveway would have clearly picked up footage of a vehicle, right? I mean, the Caneiro home, Keith Caneiro's home in Colts Neck, had cameras everywhere. And, well, you wouldn't want to drive up before you got out of your vehicle and actually were able to dismantle the generator in the electric box so there was no electricity, so there would be no cameras. Now, that sounds like inside knowledge of what is available for surveillance inside the home. Sounds like someone who's been inside the home actually knows where the cameras are and what gets recorded. You know, these are the things that I want heard by the jury. I want to hear these things said out loud. Now, in an opening statement, they can, and I'm sure they will in a closing statement, or at least I hope so. Well, it's going to be an interesting week. Oh, an interesting week. We heard from the alleged other woman today, just simple, straightforward testimony. I guess you could consider her a hostile witness because she's so close to Paul. Well, she did cooperate. She gave an honest answer. She was subpoenaed. She had translators there, so there was no misinterpreting of the words. She spoke of travel that Paul and her did together. previous media reports list her as a long-term girlfriend, and that there was trouble in the Caneiro marriage, that he did spend time outside of the home and may have lived in Ocean Township in that apartment for a period of time. However, he was back into the home by the time of this incident, but he was sleeping in a separate bedroom. That's rather convenient for no one seeing him come and go. In a house full of people, I like to remind everyone that not one can say that they saw him sleeping or that he definitely didn't leave the house. There's no way for them to know. They can say they didn't see him leave the house. They can say they didn't see him get in the car and go, but they can't say definitely because they weren't in the same room. So it's going to be interesting. Closing arguments should have a lot of details in them. We'll see. And I'm really looking forward to see what kind of presentation the defense does at the end. Will they call witnesses, or will they just leave the doubt that they've been able to put out there a little bit, the chinks that they put in the armor of the legal investigation? Will they just let that rest on the jury and just say the state didn't prove their case? Or will they let Paul Caneiro take the stand in his defense? And will we have another Murdaugh scene where he's very contrite and crying and saying, I've done a lot of horrible things, but this I didn't do? I remember that from the Murdaugh trial very well. I don't think the jury bought that one for a moment. Because again, there was a little piece of video evidence that kind of blew the alibi apart. And I kind of feel the same way about this case. There are little pieces of evidence, nothing huge, nothing astronomical like blows the whole case wide open, but little pieces that are very hard to ignore or deny. We've got a lot more evidence to hear. Medical examiner, DNA, arson specialist, ballistics specialists. You know, we have heard ballistics from the detective. I don't know if we're going to have a separate expert come in on that. And we have heard from one of the fire chiefs and the other, but I don't know if we're going to hear more on the accelerants and everything that were used. We do know from media reporting and from what's been stated already, slow burning fire meant to actually take some time. However long he planned it, which I don't think was too long, he may have been thinking about it. It does look as if Paul Caneiro had actually thought about all of this. But certain things like video cameras in other people's homes or traveling streets by businesses cannot be actually taken into consideration. You have to go the least traveled road and just hope that the cameras are not reaching the street. Most of the houses, to be honest, are set very far back from the road. So I'm sure Paul Caneiro was thinking it was very unlikely he'd be caught on camera. I think he may have been surprised when he was. That is, allegedly was. No guilty verdict yet. I have to remind myself to keep saying allegedly. Remember, guilty is not it yet. It's not guilty until proven. He's innocent. He's absolutely innocent at this state because there's been no verdict. We're just watching the evidence with the jury stack up. This is a long conversation that Judge Lemieux is having. Yeah, I'm wondering if we will get to find out what it's about. Often he'll just leave after this and we don't get to know anything. But it is sure that the jury is not there to hear any of it. Paul Caneiro has been very calm today through all the testimony. Kind of thoughtful. I saw him taking notes a few times. We heard from Monika Mastellone for the defense earlier in the day, but her crosses were quite short compared to last week. I do wish we had a state witness list so we could see what was coming. Well, it's a little different for me to watch a trial this way where I don't have an idea of who's going to be taking the stand. I mean, we've got a general idea of the kinds of evidence that are going to come out, but that's about it. But I am enjoying the surprises in hearing it the way the jury will hear it. Today, definitely my ears perked up. Definitely perked up during the calling of the alleged girlfriend to the stand, Miss Resrobo, and then also this detective, Detective Ryan Mahony, the evidence that's coming out in his testimony. It just fits in the timeline better. It makes the timeline more secure. It offers the possibility that, yes, this could have been done prior to the setting of the fire in Ocean Township.
We're back on the record. I just had a brief conference with counsel to discuss a few issues that we're going to be dealing with and to talk about timing for the rest of the week. So we'll address things as we go forward. So tomorrow we'll be back in. It'll be normal time. Jurors will be here at 8. We'll start at 8:30, and we'll just keep going. So, Mr. Caneiro, we'll make sure that you're here. Everybody else, please have a good night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow morning at around 8 o'clock. Thank you all.
Okay, so that's going to be us for the day. They're going to have an early start tomorrow. Well, they'll be in session at 8. I don't know if that's going to be for the judges and the attorneys to discuss, but they'll have everything ready. I'm sure we'll be live before 8:30 with the feeds, but we will be back tomorrow with another morning session, continuing with day 6 of the New Jersey versus Paul Caneiro trial. Well, on that, hope to hear from you in the comments. Please ask me any questions and let me know how you think it's going. Have you made any decision either way? Are you leaning either way towards guilty or not guilty at this point? I mean, admittedly, it's still early on. We've got a long way to go. But do you have any idea what sticks out to you so far? Let me know. Have a great night, everybody.